The conference is now in presentation mode.
So good day, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar, the Big Data Service Desk, the Saga so far. Hello, everybody. This is part of the this webinar is part of the Visit and HPE Post-Discover Summit of 2017. You can have a look at the link at the bottom if you want to have access. We had yesterday already 3 sessions. We have today 3 sessions. This is the first one, and tomorrow will be also 3 webinars about that. You are kindly invited to all of them, and at the end there will be an overview of the upcoming events. This webinar is brought to you by Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. Hello, I am Carsten Neisse from Germany. I am Loop Leader of TQA and Performance Engineering Group of a small company, Proficom. And today's speakers are Tore Zenizet. He has over 20 years experience in IT business, ranging from Royal Norwegian Navy through consulting, database admin, software development, network and application management. In the past 10 years, he was at Helsmith Norge IT, mainly as incident manager with strong interest in service management tools such as HPE Service Manager. The second speaker is Michael Pott. He's Senior Product Marketing Manager at Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, and his responsibilities include outbound marketing and sales enablement. He joined HP in 1989 and held various positions in HPE since 1969. He worked in different areas of the IT management, software market, including market analysis, sales content development, business planning for broad range of products such as HPE Operations Manager. Kevin Leslie was part of the team, but unfortunately he cannot join today. So today's live session is intended for all Visit members, and the recording will be posted in the webinar section on the Visit website, visible for all members. Additionally, today's slide deck and webinar recording will be made available to you. We will send you the link via email once they are posted on the Visit handset. To enlarge the presentation pane on your screen, just click on the rectangle in the upper right hand corner of the presentation pane being pointed by the red arrow. If you have questions as we go along, please type and send them in using QA pane on the left side of your screen. Simply type in your question and then click on the Ask button. To ask a question and receive them in your native language, click on the flag in the upper left corner of your screen, which will launch a language selection box. Next, click on the radio button next to your language and then click on Apply, and you are all set. So let's get started. I will pass over to Michael.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you are. Thank you for joining this webinar today, the Big Data Service Desk, the Saga so far. My name is Michael Pott, and I'll be guiding you through the presentation today. One more note before we begin. Carsten said it, but again, to re-emphasize, do not hesitate to submit questions or comments throughout the entire webinar. We will save time towards the end for Q&A and cover whatever questions we can cover and follow up offline with those remaining. In terms of our agenda today, I plan to start with a brief introduction of HPE IT Service Management and the Big Data Service Desk. And then for the majority of the presentation, by the way, I hand over to Tore, who will share his experience, results, and thoughts on implementing the Big Data Service Desk at HPIT. So let me start with a brief introduction to HPE IT Operations Management as a whole. what you see here is basically a summary telling you that we have and are shifting from offering a very long list of products, more than 40 actually, to focusing on providing greater simplified value through what we call suites, 4 suites that you see on the screen here. The one is IT service management, the other one is operations bridge, then we have data center automation, and last but not least, hybrid cloud management. All these suites are and will be more and more based on what we call the core technology foundation, which includes things like analytics, orchestration, collaboration, mobility, and all these things that you are probably aware of. So having that said, let's spend one or more moments on the evolution of HPIT operations management more. It was important to shift from point products to suites first, as this also lays the foundation to further enhancements, like moving to a containerized deployment model. This further will simplify the ITOM offering by moving from point product, as I said before, to suite-level integrated solution offerings. By the way, to learn more about this, refer to the recording of the recent Vivid webinar, HPE CMS, Configuration Management System, and containers, for example, because we won't talk about this subject here today. So that we can get to Tora's experiences and thoughts quickly, I just want to share this slide and leave it with you, since you can download the presentation. But what you see here is basically the key elements and capabilities of HPE's ITSM automation solution, and I'll talk a little bit about what you get with that within the next 2 minutes. Again, core elements are on the left-hand side, as you see it here, and you can read the remainder of the slide for yourself. Then the Big Data Service Desk, the Service User Portal, asset management, automated discovery and modeling, and all the other capabilities being built around ITIL best practices. You see ITIL process here on the slides, automation, and for sure on a configuration management and service modeling foundation. So having that said, since Tora later on will talk about the Big Data Service Desk, a few words on that one. What you see here is again a list of capabilities, values, and benefits. I won't go through all of that. You hear about that again later on when Tora walks us through the remainder of the presentation. But what is important to take aware here is that, built on HPE ITIL, big data further drives automation into ITSM processes by mining what is called unstructured data and by extracting information from different types of data. And unstructured data is not the indexed data that you get with things like change or incident records in terms of, the name, IDs and things like that, but also, natural language text that typically comes in description fields and the likes, just so you know. And what it really does, it improves the processes of the help desk management in general. It reduces the time and effort, spent on interactions, incidents, and all that things. And again, I let that, in the hands of Tora to talk a little bit about that. It's just a slide for you. If you're hearing about big data in the service desk, this is sort of a good cheat sheet on what you get and what you can expect in terms of functionality as well as in terms of values and benefits. Having that said, to get an idea about where you are with big data in your service desk, we have a polling question, and I want to hand over for that to Carsten.
Yeah, thanks. I just want to have this poll. So we are asking you, using machine learning and big data in your service desk, what statement applies best to your solution? I use it already in my service desk. I plan to use it in my service desk. I have now plans to use within the next 12 months. I'm hearing about this. So I think we give you some time to answer this question. It should be now a poll on your screen visible, so please use the time and make your statement. Some already answered, so maybe we give some more time, not everybody. I think it's now already, some are still in the line. Maybe we give some more time. Okay, it seems to be fixed. So the results are that 36% have no plan to use it within the next 12 months. 7% I'm hearing about this for the first time. Also 7% I use it already in my service desk, and 50% use it in my service desk within the 12 months. So the half will definitely use it within the 12 months. So with that result, I give back to Michael.
Yeah, thank you, Carsten. So 2 more visuals to put what I've said so far into perspective. We talked about the shift from many products to a few solution suites, under IT operations management. But what does this really mean? How does it look like? How does that feel like in terms of what you can buy, what you get, for example? And this is why I have this short slide here. It's showing how, this looks for ITSM, for IT service management, and we call that HPE ITSM Automation Suite, moving from point products to suites. And HPE Automation Suite currently is available in 2 editions. That's the 2 little boxes you see in the middle. One is the so-called Express Edition, and the other one is the Premium Edition. And what you get if you order, for example, ITSMA Suite Express Edition is what you can read in the box. It's Service Manager, Smart Analytics, and Universal CMDB. And without getting into details, you also can order Premium Edition, and then you get Premium additional capabilities, so everything that is in the first box plus other things like Discovery and Universal CMDB. I do not read everything here. On the last slide, I'll tell you how you can get there if you are an installed base HPE Service Manager customer. If you don't know that yet, most of you probably do. And then you also see some some values and benefits highlighted here, like license simplification, contract simplification. It's simply ordered to deal with the product, since you don't need to care about module licenses and all these things anymore, because everything has been reduced to a few SKUs, so numbers to deal with, just so you know. And as I said before, my last slide here is how do you get there as an installed base customer? If you already have a service manager, then you have probably a mix of match of what you see on the left-hand side. For example, a different single service manager modules. You also may have, you do not see that on the slide, a license that is called Service Manager Enterprise Suite. Whatever that is, there is a simple way to get to the suite, to the Express Edition, and also from there for sure to the Premium Suite, which is via what is, these called these CAP upgrade SKUs and Smart Analytics. And in a nutshell, this is a path, a simple path that gets you to the suite by simply purchasing Smart Analytics, so the big data capability of Service Manager, and then we have the mechanics in place to elevate you, quote unquote, to the ITSMA Express Suite with that purchase. So having that said, that's enough from an introduction and marketing perspective. I really want to hand it over to Tore now for guiding us through his experiences with the Big Data Service Desk. So Tore, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Michael. Just a little note on who we are and where we are. My name is Tore Senneset. I work as an incident manager at a company called HPIT, Helse Midt-Norge IT, which is an IT service provider servicing 9 hospitals in the central Norwegian region. We run 1,000+ Windows servers, mostly virtual. We have some HP non-stop computers. We have a few Red Hat Enterprise Linux-based services, and all in all, we provide 60 business services and distribute somewhere around 850 applications to our end users. Our service desk handles somewhere around 110,000 calls. That is either emails, postal requests, and phone calls. Looking back at where we were about 2.5 years ago, we had a steadily increasing number of tickets. Our first touch resolution rate was only barely on SLA targets. We had a problem management process not able to reduce the number of incidents occurring. And we had an inefficient service desk, more concerned with fire and forget, or register and pass on. So through the next small half hour, we will have a look at what we wanted to achieve, what we actually achieved, and why things happened and why some things didn't happen. In short, the saga so far, and a few notes on where we think we're going. So this would be where we were. The old school service desk would very often seem like a narrow path with lots of turns and quirks, and make one mistake and then you're going downhill. This was the status in our shop. Point, click right, point, click right, point, click right. With a lot of room for errors, and believe me, we did them all. So categorizing tickets was more like the game of bingo, where operators would follow their gut feeling rather than thinking, why should I choose this category and not this one? And same applied for assigning to a service. Why this service and not that one? And even though HP Service Manager actually gave a few wizards on helping to categorize, the service desk in many cases just got it wrong. So focusing on what we really do as a service provider in the healthcare business, we need to focus on the woman attached to this leg, and not so much on disturbing things. In my job, I deal with incidents, both small and big ones. And this X-ray here is actually my wife. When she broke her leg during skiing a little under a year ago. And as I followed my wife being taken through the path from the mountain, through the ambulance, received in the emergency room, examined and prepared for X-ray, leg stabilized with plaster and such, my initial thoughts were, no one ever asked, what's the next step? Where do we send her now? What are the steps to fix this? And she fractured her leg in 3 places. And okay, this is her path through the hospital. She's going home on Monday afternoon. All treatment done by then. We shift her through the path, and everything was pre-decided. And why can't we have that in IT? So in our company, we want to see the patient as our main point of focus. And we tell our staff that everything they do, they should do in a way that in the best possible way can ensure optimum care for the patients. And this we have achieved to quite an extent using the big data capabilities in Service Manager. So what we set out to achieve was we want to improve registration at service desk because we want to improve our second line efforts. So by providing some way of guiding service desk to categorize properly, we want to achieve less reassignments because each reassignment has a cost, and the cost is hours spent.
And same goes for classification, that is pinpointing the service affected by an incident. If we get things correct, then we will also have less reassignments because we hit the correct solution team on first attempt. And we want to improve the use of information from attachments.
Tore, we cannot hear you. This is Anne-Marie. Michael, any chance you can fill in while we try to get Tore back?
Yeah, so Tore is probably dialing in again. He says something has happened to his phone line. So let's wait a minute before we try to move on. Doesn't make sense if I go through it.
While we wait for Tore to come back, he's going to talk about the categorization. Well, one of the things we're seeing is a traditional service desk, the categorization success rate is about 40%. That's what traditional service desks get in categorization. Using big data, our customers are achieving 70 and 80% success rate. That means that as the ticket is raised, it goes to the person who can fix it first time, 70 to 80% of the time, rather than 40% of the time. For an end user, that means they get their problem fixed quicker because the right engineer is working on it. And on the service desk, it means there's lots less administration overhead of moving tickets from one department to another. So that is that 70 to 80% seems to be a common benchmark we're seeing with customers who have implemented smart ticketing. Tore is joining in a moment. There was one question in the question box asking about the suites. Is Operations Bridge also a suite? Yes, it is. So Operations Bridge, similar to ITSM Automation, has a suite offering with a customer appreciation program to make it easy for customers to move to that suite. And we provide integrations between ITSMA and OpsBridge. So ITSMA and OpsBridge are both using the containerization approach. That's what we're using for all of ITOM. I was asking one of the questions in the box.
And yeah, maybe to make best use of the time. Let me go back to, and we were on slide 22 to where I didn't spend too much time on because Tore is going to cover a lot of that. As you know, what Kevin just said is that we are experiencing and hearing from customers that they save a lot of times in tasks like being as simple as ticket categorization, for example, when a ticket comes in first line to figure out, what service is impacted, and things like that. But there is more to big data in terms of how it can help your service desk. On one hand, there is a service desk agent perspective, like this categorization of ticket, which you see on the top right here, besides Smart Ticket. But there's also an end user. Oh, okay, that's cool. So I just was talking the audience through the capabilities of Smart Analytics. So I move back to slide 22 now, Tore.
Yes. Where did you actually lose audio?
I think at this slide, after your experience, your wife's experience in the mountains, right?
Yes. I think I'll start from here. This is the point. This is what we wanted to achieve. We wanted to get better registration, improving second line within incident management by improving categorization and classification, and thus reducing reassignments. Because, as I said, or at least I tried to say, every reassignment costs time, and we wanted to improve the use of information gathered through attachments, screenshots, photos, and such. Because we have accumulated quite a lot of media information in Service Manager database, which is kind of dead information. So one of the first things that we saw when we introduced Smart Analytics was a huge drop in ticket handle times within Service Desk. But what looks too good to be true is seldom true. So we had to do a little bit of analysis before accepting these numbers. Before introducing Smart Analytics in April 2015, we had an average handle time at Service Desk of about 10 minutes per ticket. And then we see on the 2015 line, there is a significant drop in ticket handle times from March to April, where we go from around 10 minutes to a little under 4 minutes. And that just couldn't be true. And it turned out that Service Manager in the old way and Service Manager with Smart Tickets measures this handle time differently. The first one starts measuring as soon as you open an empty interaction, and the latter one starts measuring as soon as Smart Ticketing is complete and you move on to complete registration of the ticket and either escalating it or closing it. And this, of course, complicates comparison. So what we did was to analyze the data from our phone company. And this shows us that our calls are on average 1 minute 10 seconds shorter after April 1st, 2015. And the only difference that we did between March 31st and April 1st is that we introduced Smart Analytics. And looking at the years from 2013, when we started using Service Manager, following through to 2015, we can see that they differ clearly from previous years, and we also see that these numbers are consistent through 2015 and now through 2016. We also saw some changes in first call resolution rate, and the first version of Smart Analytics, which was introduced with Service Manager 934, does nothing in ways of making it easier for service desk operators to find solutions. It just provides a way of categorizing the tickets. But nevertheless, we had a significant increase in first call resolution rates. And the only way this can be explained is through the training material that we provided before going live on Smart Analytics. where we've tried to shift the focus from noting who's calling, where is he calling from, and about which service is this person calling. We try to shift from that and to make service desk focus on describe what you see and what the customer actually tells you in order to get the most out of smart analytics. And this might have made the service desk operators look in the right direction when it comes to finding the correct solution. This is the only explanation that I have on that. And as I was creating these charts for this presentation, I suddenly asked myself, why am I exporting the data to Excel through heavy database queries? I can look at them inside Service Manager, and these charts also looks a bit too fantastic. And again, it comes to the way Service Manager measures before and after. So combining the resolution times with the average handle time based on phone statistics, we see that the service desk actually spends less time on completing their tickets, and this also gives effect for the end user. Well, he gets serviced faster than he was before, as in before introducing smart analytics. Same thing happened to incident resolution times. The dip in resolution time is not so significant here as it is on interaction resolution time, but it's there. Starting from April 2015, we have had a steadily decreasing incident resolution time throughout 2015 and 2016. The reasons for this might be outside Service Manager, but even counting infrastructure improvement projects and such into the equation, there's still a significant decrease in incident resolution times from 2015 to 2016, and the only difference on service management side is the introduction of smart analytics. So was it a success? I would definitely say yes, at least at Service Desk. We also tried to make use of smart analytics on the end user portal, removing excess fields so that the end user could focus on describing the error and not so much on describing where do I experience this error, because that's something smart analytics can make sense of by looking at the text that the end user writes. We wasn't so successful on making end users adopt it. A lot of reasons for that, which lie outside the capabilities of smart analytics. But we did an analysis on the number of man hours saved from the first 12 months of smart analytics, and we see that we saved in excess of 2,000 man hours the first year, and in fact we were break even on the investment in just a few days over 6 months. So where do we go from now? We've already upgraded to Service Manager 941 and started using the new features in Smart Analytics. And one of the most successful improvements is the new context-sensitive search capabilities, which go across all modules, service desk, incident, problem, change, etc. And we've managed to provide our service desk agents with blazing fast access to key information, both from previous tickets and knowledge articles, in one single operation. It also gives our service desk agents information about changes done and changes planned, and in this way provides a whole new flow of information with one key purpose, and that is to resolve the ticket faster. And good filtering makes it easy to sift through the maybe too large amount of information provided. But for a start, we decided not to do anything with the predefined filters that comes with Service Manager. The service desk agents can also choose to edit the filters while creating the ticket. And this screenshot shows that the operator has chosen only to look at knowledge articles as a possible solution for the ticket he is creating. And one of the biggest challenges with previous versions of Service Manager has been that there was no cross-module search functionality. If you were looking for something, you would have to know where to look for it. Now you can search through the new global search functionality, which searches across all modules based on what you actually type. And it will also provide Google-like correction. So if you make a typo, then Smart Analytics will suggest the correct typing for you. And these are examples on results received from the Smart Search functionality. As I said, we wanted to have more effect from all the screenshots and attachments that gets emailed to our service desk. And this comes through the image to text functionalities within Service Manager. Whenever an attachment is either emailed to Service Manager or uploaded by Service Desk, Smart Analytics will look at the image and extract text from it and insert it into the description field of either an incident or an interaction. And this means that we can use the error messages for analysis through, for instance, the hot topics functionality within Service Manager. We can use it in knowledge articles that we produce without having to type everything over again. And here I've used a graph containing IP addresses and inserted it to an interaction, and the OCR functionality has correctly extracted all IP addresses and entered it into the description field. And it is also passed on to the incident when the ticket is escalated. Service Manager comes with in version 951 comes with a new smart email feature, and this works in the following way. The end user sends an email to the Service Manager email address. Smart Analytics looks at the email and then provides the end user with the standard reply that we have received your ticket, and we will look at it shortly. And in the meantime, you can have a look at these suggested solutions to your problem. And then it will add as many suggested solutions that you choose. The out-of-the-box says 5 solutions to incidents, and it also will provide service offerings from your end-user portal if you use one. And this feature really looks nice, but a little over a year ago, we did an analysis on what kind of users do we have. And the two main categories that we found were what we call the digital users, those who have a smartphone and use it a lot for Facebook, for online shopping, for news reading and such. And the non-digital users that just as everyone else owns a smartphone, but they use it just like the old school cell phones for phone calls and for text messages. And if we are going to be successful in introducing smart emails, I think the ones that we can hope will adopt this solution are the digital users. Everyone else will continue as they've always done by either emailing and then waiting or calling our service desk. We've also done a few customizations to the smart ticketing, because our end users don't use their username for login anymore. We have smart card-based login on all computers. So we had to add an extra field to smart tickets, but that is easily done without any hidden bombs. Anyone that can customize a form in Service Manager can do this for themselves. And we are also considering adding the logical name field, which is where you enter the affected CI, being either a computer or an application, to the smart ticketing form. And this can actually be quite easily done. HP has documented the way to do it, and I guess that PDF can be obtained from your sales rep. Here this is from our development system, where we are testing out this possibility, where we have added a field to attach the affected application automatically. Another key feature that we sadly were not so successful in adopting at Hermit is the hot topics. The reasons for that are quite a few, but one of the main reasons is that we have a few issues with our category tree that kind of clutters the data for smart analytics, but we're cleaning up that as we move on for Service Manager 951. The important bits about hot topics is that when it was first introduced in 2014, you could only have hot topics on incidents, but starting from 941, you can also have it on service desk interactions and on service done through the survey module inside Service Manager. And this will give you an online deep dive into what's hitting your company right now. Because this is while Smart Ticket is training based, where you train Smart Analytics to recognize your tickets, and you do that, let's say, once every 2 or 3 months. Then Hot Topics is online, updated. So whenever you create a new ticket, you update automatically the Hot Topics index, which gives you live view of what's happening right now. And you can use this for problem management, for identifying tickets that affect the same service. You can use it for identifying major incidents affecting a lot of users at the same time, and for connecting incidents to each other. So what are our future goals? We are looking at achieving a 90% first call resolution rate. And we're going to achieve that through using the knowledge management features that are hugely improved by Smart Analytics. And we're going to use it by identifying and removing bottlenecks inside incident process through dashboards and reports. And we are going to introduce the SM collaboration with link integration and possibly the new virtual agent functionality where you can have a virtual chat agent suggesting solutions to your end users before the ticket has been touched by human hands at service desk. So then it's the questions bit.
Yeah, thank you, Tora. This is Michael. Do you want me to walk through the questions? I'm okay with that.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so we have like, let me start with, I guess, two simple ones. I have the answer. One is OCR shouldn't just copy and paste to description. It rather should use extracted text for smart search in every module's context, shouldn't it? Well, in this case, if you open a ticket using OCR, so if a user uses his or her smartphone, takes a picture and opens a ticket, this description is also being used for classifying the ticket, actually for creating the ticket. You know, what Tora just walked us through also applies to tickets that come in via OCR, and by the way, natural language, which is very similar. So you send a description and then the service desk automatically classifies that. And then the other one does search configuration. Does it search configuration? So the smart search in this case, configuration and service catalog as well. I logged in during this presentation into Service Manager and checked that it searches through configuration items, yes, and it also searches through catalog items. And by the way, also through Microsoft SharePoint and Wikipedia if you want.
It can actually search through whatever you like.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point, Tori. You can what I just told you comes out of the box, right? So good point. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Then there was another question for you. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. And you can also have it search through file systems where if you define a connector saying that Smart Analytics should search through this file share and all documents there to find a possible solution for whatever is searched for.
Exactly. Yeah. Which builds a bridge to question number one, Tor, which is for you, when using Smart Search, what filtering strategy do you use, and how do you, narrow down search results? What's your approach for this?
Like I said, we initially decided to go with the whole lot, and that might not have been our brightest moment. So what we've done on Service Desk, that we have narrowed down which tickets Smart Search actually looks at when searching for a solution to the ticket in question. And as we get better on knowledge management, we might even say that we don't want to look at all old interactions to find a solution. We only want to look at let's say, closed incidents and knowledge articles, and possibly even leaving the incidents out, and only having Smart Search look at knowledge articles, because if you have 100,000 tickets a year, then you might have as much as 100,000 different solutions to look at. Now that creates an information bomb to Service Desk that we in some way have to reduce. So we have left out a few categories of interactions that we don't search, and we might even remove further categories, focusing on knowledge articles.
Yeah.
It's kind of learning by doing.
Yeah, it sounds like a great strategy. The other one is that sort of ties to that as well, and there was, I think you had a visual on that also, is can you share your thoughts on how many users you expect to use smart email? I think that was where you talked about digital and non-digital users and what type of users this would be. I guess that was already also on something you talked about, right?
Yeah. Most of our users are involved in treating patients in one way or another, and in many cases they won't be able to have a look at the suggested solutions from the smart email functionality, and I guess the kind of users that would adopt smart emails in our company is the ones that have mainly, let's say, office tasks during the day or periods of their day. They would have time to look at the suggested solutions or the service offerings and possibly try them. And the other thing that's happening in healthcare in Norway, that we have kind of a shift where the old school doctors, the old school secretaries are leaving to become old age pensioners, and the new generations are used to online solutions, and that might mean that while we will have limited success with smart emails for now, we might have increasing success as our user base changes over the next few years.
Right. Probably using mobile devices, I guess, to a large extent.
I hope so.
Yeah. Then there were these echo things that have been resolved. Yeah, here's one more. Do you have distribution data on which categories contributed most to first-time resolution rate increase? And I guess, and can you share that? Probably. Yeah.
I don't have anything now, but I can have a look at it and pass it on to HP.
Sounds good. Yeah, and then we can get that back as an answer via the Vivid community. So we had that one. Then there were question 11. So we answered 9 and 10. We have time for one or two more, I guess. Does HPIT rely on acquired and integrated industry knowledge or an in-house knowledge management process capturing customer-specific knowledge?
In-house. Because okay. a lot of our systems are tailor-made for us.
Yeah. Good. Thanks for that. And the last one is Smart Analytics Multilingual with translation support. Honestly, I would need to check that unless you know the answers. I think you're using that in your language, aren't you, Troy?
Or I know the answer.
Yeah, right.
Smart Analytics actually disregards your language. And what you can also do is that you can provide a stop word file to Smart Analytics significant for your language with words to ignore when I'm analyzing text. So you can add. Smart Analytics comes with stop word files for a lot of languages. And you can actually add further languages if you like. I know that the University of Pretoria has added support to Smart Analytics for some obscure tribal language, which...
yeah.
So it is multilingual and, let's say, non-lingual, as it analyzes patterns and words, and it does not analyze the meaning of the words as such.
Right. To add to that, stop words, correct me, Tora, are things like can help, problem, everything you want to, like, ignore, right? Things like that.
Yeah. I've extended the Norwegian stop word file quite a lot to improve results, and that was successful.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. So yeah, so I think we are. Let me see. Yes, we are through with the questions. So I think we are really very good in time, so that we can wrap up the webinar with some more interesting information pieces for everyone. I think, Carsten, if you want to take over, and let me already thank you from my perspective for a good webinar here.
Okay, thank you for your nice presentation. I think I want one more question. Question number 11 was, does the summit rely on a cravat? This was answered. Otherwise, we maybe write it up and answer it via email. Just I didn't get it.
Yeah, it has been answered.
Oh, okay, then just we go on to show more interesting webinars, though you can join our item post-discover summit. There are 2 more webinars in the item sessions. The first one is Cloud Next, the next generation of cloud management from HPE. It's, today you can read the details in the black written sentences there. I won't do that. It's tomorrow. The other one is Master Any Cloud with Hybrid Cloud Managed from HPE. It's also tomorrow, so please register if you're interested. There are still 3 slots. The next are the ADM sessions. 2 of them are today: Agile Delivery in Continuously Regulated Environment. The other one is enabling the shift towards Agile and DevOps capabilities. They are both today, and supporting the idea economy in the worlds of finance, IntelliQA with HPE Mobile Center sounds very interesting. Is also tomorrow, so please register. We have one more interesting date, so please save the date, 16th to 19th May in 2000. There will be the EMEA Software Cluster Forums in Dublin. So yeah, please visit the site and register. You're kindly invited. This brings up to the last slide. So thank you for your attention. Thanks again to Tora, Michael, and Kevin, who joined later, for the very nice and interesting talk. Please be sure to complete the short survey after the webinar ends and opt in to receive more information from HPE. Just a reminder that the webinar recording and the slide deck will be posted to the Vivid website. In the next few days, you will receive an email with those links. Yeah, just visit the 2 sites. And yeah, with that, I think we are at the end. Thank you very much again.